Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm going to take off a few things here, just playing around with some fun settings. If you're live on Instagram, I've got this really cool, uh, I guess, filter that says the science of getting rich, and $100 bills are flying down from the ceiling. Oh, this is exciting. This is fun. Hey, well, happy Friday, everybody. This is a good day. This is a really good day for me. I'm really excited to share some things, to talk with you. If you're jumping in, just drop a comment there, say hello, say hi, and we'll have some interactions because today is all about you. I look forward to the conversations today. Instagram, if you see me looking down, I apologize. I'm going to try and sit back and just kind of have some fun. Here at Amplified Minds, we're experiencing some changes. We're moving around our offices a little bit, and I love change. I love moving around. I love experiencing it. Notice I'm in a different office. I'm planning on moving around a few offices, so it might be a different video the next couple times, but we're just having some fun. We're moving some things around, and change is good for the soul. In fact, my good friend and somebody who I was able to be connected to by Eric Swanson through the Habitude Warrior Conference is Rick Denley. And Rick Denley just launched his book, Reinventing Yourself. And Rick came on this interview, and he shared with us a little bit more about reinventing yourself. And he told me one of the easiest things to do, one of the simplest habits you can work on, is by switching your watch over to a different arm or to a different hand, right? And to do that regularly and get used to being uncomfortable and get used to doing things that make you stretch, make you work differently. And I love that. I love that concept. I love thinking about the idea of really adding change, adding things to your life. So today I want to ask you the question, what are you changing in the world? What are you working towards changing? So if you have an answer to that, or if you can think of a quick answer, add that to the comment section. What are you changing? Okay. And I'll even type it in here too, so that we can see it. What are you changing today? And this is kind of a broad question, right? This is a broad question because a lot of us might be changing a lot of things in our lives. We might be changing the way we look, the way we feel, the way we behave. We might be changing the way we run our business. We might be changing our outlooks. Some of us are holding on to things we shouldn't have been holding on to, things that we've been dying to get rid of, but we can't because somehow, some way our hearts are connected to it. And emotionally, we just can't get there. So what are you changing today? I'm curious. Shout out to my good friends, Tiffany Cook. Hey. Glad you're here, Tiffany. You are awesome. I hope you were able to enjoy the global virtual summit with Habitude Warrior and Eric Swanson. You were an all-star in the engagement and typing. This is my sign language for typing. I don't know if you were watching it on your phone or your computer or what you were doing, but you were an awesome all-star. And by the way, I'm going to just reach over here for a second and just one thing. My Instagram is so tall right now that I'm like looking up and it's awkward. I want to like bring this down. There we go. And then I'm going to tilt this. Oh, that's the money picture right there. And now I don't have to like look. Hey, that looks so much better. I was like up, down. So this is good. And then I'll fix this later. But if you guys don't mind, behind me is our success poster. We love these little posters. I actually am like buying them in bulk. I buy this, I buy all the other ones. I just think they're cool and they bring an interesting vibe and it's kind of fun. So I'm in another office here. We have an office suite. Actually, the Amplified Minds headquarters is located in Heber City, Utah. We are a rural mountain town country. And we are in the Grand Valley Bank building. So there's literally a bank block. And the bank block is where the 4 original banks of the city set nest here on the corner of Main Street and Center. And we are right on the corner of it. And we've got the suite that overlooks Center Street. And on our right is the bank. And we've got an indoor window that looks over into the balcony area, right? And we've got some old school looking ceilings and just some doors. We have a really funky old vibe, but I love it. I love it because we've thought about renovating and we've thought about doing some cool stuff to it, but change is inevitable. Okay. So there you go. There's your success poster. I'm going to just kind of tilt that down so we have a natural looking thing here. What's up, Instagram? I'm also live on Facebook. So you're missing, I put the the science of getting rich filter on just for fun. But if you go to Facebook, we have a live stream podcast. So this is what this is. I go live every day at 12 o'clock noon Mountain Time, and we give away free stuff. We give away a lot of free content, and I also have a really just fun time chatting with people, my audience, people, and it's been really, really exciting. So today I'm asking you guys the question: what are you changing today? What are you changing today? In the comment section. Hi, Jennifer. It's so good to see you. We have a conversation we're going to start. I'm just catching up on my messages. In fact, yesterday after I did my trainings, we taught 11 people on a Zoom call how to build a podcast in less than 30 minutes and make it so that you can get paid from it. And I just uploaded it to YouTube. We just created the file, and then I sent out the PDF, and that's all in your inbox. So that's kind of exciting. We're just teaching people all kinds of things. And obviously there was the offer that if you wanted us to just do it for you for a minimal $150, we were going to do it. So that was really fun. But today we're talking about change, and a lot of people are stuck, right? So I don't know what your morning habits are, but mine, I love singing or talking in the shower. I know, what an image, right? Now you're just thinking of me in the shower. Weird. Let's move on. I'm in the shower this morning. Again, sorry. And as I'm in the shower, I started talking to myself and I said, if I were better prepared for the pandemic and for quarantine, what would I have done differently? And I said to myself, you know what I would have done is I would have built an online store. And in this online store, I would have sold at-home exercise convenient equipment, because I went over to my brother-in-law's house, and at his house, he had to show me. He's like, I'm so excited. And he took me into his garage, and he, in the second carport where his car was parked, he has now purchased really nice, beautiful exercise equipment. He got himself a bench, like an Olympian bench, and he got all the barbells and the things that he needed. And he was so excited because now he doesn't have to go to a gym to worry about getting his workout done. He can go on a run in the neighborhood, and he can go into his garage where he can blast music and not worry and work out all that he wants to. And I thought to myself, I wish I would have made an online store and sold yoga mats, yoga blocks, dumbbell weights, kettlebell weights, stretchy bands, bench equipment, and a bunch of other weights. I wish I would have done that to do two things. Obviously, you can make a lot of money because people are adjusting. They're adjusting to this change. They're trying to figure out how do I need to fix my lifestyle so that I can maintain my health? And that's what a lot of people are concerned about. And there's a running joke and a bunch of running memes around there that people are going to be, overweight. We're all going to look like the people from the movie WALL-E. If you remember that Disney movie WALL-E, the little robot, and how the humans are all just like stuck in their pods and they're totally sufficient with technology. But it's fascinating to me because I don't think the entire world's like that. People love to work out. People love to be active. So I was like, oh man, I wish. And I said that word out loud, and I was like, oh, I never say that word. I never say I wish. I wish I could have. I should have, would have, could have, right? Those are swear words in our vocabulary. But I said it. I said it in the shower, which is even an even worse image. So there you go. Swearing in the shower and talking about one thing that I would have done differently if I would have been prepared. And then I realized something. We're still in quarantine. There are cases outbreaking everywhere. Things are not slowing down, and there's a lot of people easing up, but there's just going to be more cases. And I thought to myself, who cares if I wasn't prepared? Who cares if I didn't do it right at the beginning of March when most people went into quarantine? Who cares? I can still do that now. And so this morning, after I got out of the shower, the first thing I did is I sent out a text to one of my friends who's an expert in creating websites and online stores. And I said, teach me now. I'll pay you. So I thought about that. And by the way, as I talk about this story, guess who's online? Colin Andrews, my brother-in-law. I would have been one of your biggest spenders for more equipment. So he was so excited the day he showed me. And it was so cool. It was like we geeked out for a good half hour, just sitting there looking at the equipment, trying it out, pushing it up, looking at the bar, showing us how much equipment we could create. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, what a cool experience. Colin, I'm so glad you jumped on. He promised me he would jump on and watch one of these. And it's funny, I had no idea you were watching today. And look, here you are. And look, here I am talking about you. So I just disclosed your name to the whole world. There you go. I love it. I love it. Thank you for watching. And thanks for showing me your awesome equipment and opening up my mind to the kinds of changes that we're going to be making in our lifestyle and that all we're doing. So I'm going to go back to Jennifer's comment. She says, I'm changing a lot, but it's leading into a whole new career. Jennifer, that's exciting. You see, by the way, I'm live on Instagram, so if you see me looking up and down, that's why. It's leading into a whole new career. That's amazing. Because here's the thought. We've changed a lot too. My main business was hosting in-person networking events. And at those networking events, we were introducing people to our partners, to resources that would help them save money, to building relationships, and to giving people accountability on a one-on-one basis. Those are the 4 things that we were doing. Well, now I can't host in-person networking meetings. So have I adjusted? I've had to. Have we hosted any online networking events? No, we have not adjusted because I still believe in the in-person experience, but we're trying to adjust. But what I have done is I've gone live every day, and that live has allowed me to get on stages. I've spoken on 4 virtual summits now since quarantine. That's almost 1 per week in the month of March, or almost 1 per month we've been in quarantine. And all of those have raised more awareness, more follows, more increased interest, more friends globally. And it's given me a standard or a platform where I could get my message out there. And that's been super fun for me. That's been a really, really good deal. I've really enjoyed that experience. It's been awesome. So as you say that, Jennifer, it's leading into a whole new career. I'm excited for you. Change is amazing. Change is awesome. In fact, what you're changing now is probably the biggest blessing in your life. When we first started these lives, I told you all the story about my neighbor. You see, my neighbor, the husband and the wife, both of them worked up at the ski resorts. And when all the ski resorts shut down 2 months early, all of a sudden they had no income and they were not prepared and they had no job. And I walked over there and I started talking with them, understanding their situation. I just told them, if you need toilet paper, that was a joke. If you need toilet paper or anything else, we can help. And he reached out and said they were fine. And I said, but look, aren't you excited? And they said, why would I be excited? We just lost our jobs. And I said, yeah, that should be exciting. You get to create something. You get to start over. You get to press the reset button and you get to do whatever the heck you want. So why not run? Why not sprint? Why not do what you do best and not let your background, your degree, your story, your the things that you're involved in hold you back? But you do something that you absolutely love, that you care about. You do things that you have strengths in. Okay, I love and I reference to the Ken Coleman podcast because he talks about transitioning into your new career, into your dream jobs. And I love that because of the platform he does it, the style that he coaches everybody on the air. And he's actually one of my mentors. Like I've studied Ken Coleman and the Ken Coleman show. So that's a really good reference for you, Jennifer. I'd go check that out. It's also linked in the email I just sent you, by the way. Go check that out. You'll love that. Jennifer also said, sorry guys, I skipped over somebody. Jennifer says, we're headed that way. Jason says, what's up, Amplified Minds? You must be watching from the Amplified Minds channel. I'm streaming to my personal profile. my professional profile, the Amplified Minds channel, and I'm also streaming to both the Amplified Minds. Here's my number 6s, my Amplified Minds and my YouTube channel. By the way, if you ever just wander onto YouTube, I would love and appreciate a subscribe if you are interested in just these helpful content. We do create shorter videos, so not these long live hours, but shorter videos. I actually own a virtual assistant company based in the Philippines. We just launched this month, and we provide the caddy service for content creators, right? And we take videos and we turn them into ebooks. So we get you published week after week after week. And then we also turn those into podcasts, profiles. Okay, cool. People call me and it pauses my my Instagram stream. So that's unfortunate. So here we go. What's up, Jason? Appreciate you. And then I got Jennifer. She said, I can hardly wait. Thank you for your support. No, thank you for changing. Because the more you change the people around you. When you change the people around you, you change the world. That's how you do it, right? We're getting corny here, getting corny. Let's think back to Michael Jackson. What did he say in his famous song? Okay. Change starts with the man in the mirror. I won't sing it to you. I won't break glass. Okay. Jason says, you can make all the changes in the world, but don't change the core principles of yourself. Thank you for that reminder, Jason. I appreciate that, because sometimes I get carried away in this ADHD world of mine and we get going on a concepts, but out of context, heck yes. Heck yes. You can make all the changes in the world, but don't change the core principles of yourself. Now, I've during quarantine, I've had the opportunity to watch more movies than anyone else. I'm just kidding. We've all had the opportunity to watch more movies. But some movies I've been watching, obviously we watched The Hero's Journey. And I've recognized that in a lot of really, really popular, famous people who found wealth, people who had success, people who did what they were best at, they were able to find themselves in their flow state and out of their flow state. And the minute they started to go without of their core principles of being themselves, they were unhappy. They fell into horrible scenarios and situations, and they did not live the life that they wanted. And they ended up having to repent and go back. That was just kind of the pride cycle, the life cycle of those who left their core principles behind. So thank you for that reminder. It's so cool to hear that from Jason. Jason's such a core person. I love it. Jennifer says, seriously, I can relate to your neighbors. That was me at the beginning. I didn't know that, Jennifer. And now that I know that, that brings a lot of context to our conversation. So if you don't mind, we might take you as an example, but let's talk about change. Annalou, hi Annalou, part of one of our teammates. Annalou, I'll be in touch with you very, very soon. It's been a very busy week and I can't wait to update you on some stuff. I know we are starting on Monday. I got some updates for you. So we're excited. Annalou's coming from all the way from the Philippines. She's an awesome, awesome professional. One of our VAs that we're working with, and she's amazing. So if you have questions, talk to her or come through me and I'll direct you over to her. She's amazing, guys. And then Jennifer says, amen, Jason. Thank you. So great comments, you guys. I'm going to add one more and then I'm going to move on. Okay. A majority of people are afraid to change. 100%. Okay. People are comfortable and there's nothing wrong with that. But the real change comes from not being comfortable. Interesting. I really like that. Let me lead in. Let me transition into Think and Grow Rich. Can you guys see that? Think and Grow Rich. This is a huge manual copy gifted to me by Eric Swanson and the Habitude Warrior team, signed by the Habitude Warrior team. And I love this copy. I'm reading through it, and it's so much fun. Like I'm just diving deep into all of the concepts that I have read and reread, and this is the business Bible we should all be reading into. So I love it. I love it. But I wanted to read to you from one of the first pages and chapters as I'm kind of diving deep into this. Hey, Bell Armino, there we go. Bell's Fitness is on Instagram, and Faust is the one who actually challenged me to reach out to him and talk with him about what I'm learning, and I will. This is exciting, and I'm going to get back to your message. Okay, I'm going to read 2 paragraphs, so just bear with me for a second. I'm going to hold it here so that it actually looks like I'm looking at the screens. But he says, Copernicus, the great astronomer, dreamed of a multiplicity of worlds and revealed them. He did it. He did all of his research and he found multiplicities of worlds. No one denounced him as impractical after he had triumphed. Okay. Instead, the world began to worship him at his shrine, thus proving once more that success requires no apologies, failures, permits, or alibis. Let me repeat that again. Success requires no apologies, failures, permits, no alibis. And I think I read it wrong. I think it's failure permits, right? But I just like to put a comma there. Failures, permits, and no alibis. Isn't that amazing? Interesting. Because success is defined differently by everybody, right? Success is not this one thing. Like I've got the success poster right behind my face here. And it talks about persistence. It says late nights. It says rejection, sacrifices, discipline, criticism, doubts, failure, risk, all those things, hard work, okay, perseverance, all of those things go into success. But a lot of us forget that change is required. Change is inevitable. I'm going to keep reading. If the thing you wish to do is right and you believe in it, going back to what Jason said about the core principles, right? If the thing you wish to do is right and you believe in it, go ahead and do it. Put your dreams across and never mind what they say if you meet with temporary defeat, for they perhaps do not know that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Now that is powerful. That's cool. Every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Pause there for a minute. Take a moment. Think about that. So Jennifer was the only one who answered the question. I am curious. What are you changing today? What are you changing today? Change is good. And in the words of Napoleon Hill, there's so many good things. What are you changing today? Dan Rawls says, nice. Dan, I respect you. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Jennifer says, yes! Oh, man, I love like looking into my screen here and then looking up at Instagram and there's just money, dollar bills falling from the ceiling. Oh, you guys you just got to go look at Instagram. Here, I'm going to unplug here for a second. You just got to check this out. Okay, this is so cool. I'm going to unplug my computer's freaking out at me. Look at this. Instagram, meet Facebook. Facebook, meet Instagram. You guys see that? The dollars are falling, man. And it says, when my face pops up, it says, the science of getting rich. I just thought that was fun. I just thought that was awesome. So here we go. We're getting technical here. I'm going to plug back into my microphone. Back. We're back. Blue Stall. By the way, I'm ordering some new equipment. I'm getting excited about upgrading and so forth, but it's not necessary. You can do any of this without equipment. It's not a big deal. So there you go. We're 24 minutes into this broadcast, and I am stoked. So again, guys, my question to you is, what are you changing today? Post that in the comments section right now. What are you changing today? I don't care if it's food. I don't care if it's athleticism. I don't care if it's the way you run your business. I don't care if it's looking into new ways to connect with people. What are you changing? Jason says, I'm changing my direction a bit into different income streams. I love that. I've been researching a lot of income streams. I should probably just take action on all the ones that I have right before me, because there are so many, but I focus all of my time usually in two baskets, and then I let the others just kind of sit there as an opportunity. And then I get that, that monthly or quarterly email saying, hey, we haven't seen any movement from you. And I'm like, it's because I haven't done anything. They're like, how can we help? Are you okay? What's going on? Like, honestly, I haven't touched it, right? There's so many opportunities out there that the one thing is what you need to focus on. So again, what are you changing? Thank you for sharing that, Jason. Looks like my Facebook feed is lagging for a minute. So, we're all caught up. There we go. So isn't that powerful? Every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. I like that so much more. I was on stage a month ago. No, 2 months ago. Sorry. I was physically on stage May 14th. No, when was that? March 10th. I was on March 10th. And I said out loud, it was actually kind of a moment of inspiration. A lot of speakers get those moments of inspiration. And this one just came out. And I believe I said word for word, and if I miss it up, it doesn't matter. You guys don't know. But I believe I said success leaves behind a trail of failed graves. I believe I said that on stage. And what I was implying was with every success comes a death, a beating, a sweat, a bloodshed. There's so much that goes into success that we forget the road as soon as we hit it, right? We're like, boom, I did that. Yes, I'm awesome. But we forget that success is built on failures. We can't have success without failure. We can't have success without change. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and still expecting different results. Right? So I love that you said that, Jason, and I appreciate that. You guys, Jason and I are working together on the merchant processing side. Jason has an incredible merchant processing company, and he's a great professional consultant, and he's been helping a lot of people during COVID-19, save rates and adjust their rates with their merchant processing accounts, so that they can save money and, use that towards payroll, use that towards paying bill and rent and so forth. He's been amazing and an awesome, awesome person. So if you guys don't know Jason, get to know Jason. Jennifer says, I'm changing a little bit in my mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial mindset each day. I love that you made a list, Jennifer, and I'm going to make an example out of this. So just know I'm not picking on you, but I love this comment. Because when you are changing a lot of things all at once, you're going to have recoil, right? There's going to be things that are hard. This morning, for the first time in a very long time, I put on my running shoes and I ran 2 miles on the trail behind our house. And I felt like I was going to puke twice. I dry heaved. It was not good. And then I made my 2 miles. I came home. I flipped on my morning yoga. I do an assisted meditation and yoga with Adriene on YouTube. I know it's silly, but it's just my new world. It's my new change. And she helped me kind of like ease out all of those pains in what I was feeling from the run. And it was awesome. Like I really, really enjoyed it. And as a result of all that, I felt like, boom, I'm changing my mental and my physical, my physical mindset. Am I going to run tomorrow? I plan to, but when I wake up and my butt and my legs and my quads hurt, I'm going to be thinking, this is hard. This is difficult. This is crazy. And I might have to adjust my change, right? But I have to change. I have to do it. I got to get to where I want to be. I have a goal. I got to get there. So I just wanted to make an example of that. That's amazing. Just be okay that failure is part of the process and that change isn't easy, but it is simple. Don't change and overcomplicate things, you guys. Change and simplify. I love that. Pick on me. It's okay. I love you to death, Jennifer. You're amazing. Jason says, wow, Jennifer, keep it up, but be careful of burnout and recoil, as John mentioned. And I would just say, not even be careful, is just be willing to accept the fact that we are going to fail, right? Be willing to say, man, it is hard. I woke up tomorrow thinking about tomorrow, right? And I am in so much pain from running my 2 miles today. And the only way to overcome that is to get out there, put those shoes back on and run. Can I tell you a story? Is that okay with you guys? It's my show. Oh, the only difference between the fall and fail is the eye. Jennifer, you should teach this because that's exactly perfect. That's awesome. I hope that's what you teach on Live with Jennifer. Live with Jen, I think it's what it is. Amazing. So that's some really cool stuff there. The only difference between the fall and fail is the I. Boom. I love it. Today is a recoil day and I'm embracing it. Yes, good. Embrace it. And, don't reward yourself, but embrace it and reward yourself by winning. Okay. I got to the office this morning and I said, you know what? I'm sore. I'm tired. I need 3 wins to start my day. How am I going to do it? So I said, all right, first win, I'm going to stand up right now when I say stand up. Stand up. And I did. I stood right up. Okay. And then I went and I have this little device at my desk where I can kind of like wake myself up. It's called the Spin Gym. I got it from a lady named Forbes Riley. And I was doing my spin gym and I was doing that. And then somebody walked in. I was like, hey, what's up? And then I said, okay, and I'm going to get 2 tasks done. 2 of my checklist items. I sent a text to somebody and I sent off my email this morning that I needed to for the podcast tutorial we did yesterday. So with all of that, I had 3 wins in the morning and then my day changed. I said, I'm a winner, which is why on Instagram, I put on the money filter. And then here on Facebook, I'm totally just rolling with it. I'm so excited for the content today. Okay. So this is a good day to embrace it. She says, I plan to, my friend. Thank you. You're welcome. You're awesome. Okay. So what were we even talking about? This is a good day. This is a really good day. So as we talk about change, let me I was going to tell you a story, wasn't I? Okay. Let me tell you one of the famous stories that we share on stage a lot. Okay. And let me embellish a little bit. So just bear with me. I'm going to set a timer so I don't run like yesterday. How many of you watched yesterday's live? Man, I talked about my story for 30 minutes. That must have been boring. I'm going to video live is paused. I'm back on. Okay. People call me and that happens. So there you go. Stop calling me. Text me. Oh man, this is great. Hey, by the way, I'm going to acknowledge some people. Jennifer, thank you for being here. Jason for being here. Dan, thanks for watching. Annalou, you're awesome. Colin, my brother-in-law, amazing. Appreciate you and love you. Tiffany Cook, hey, I love you. You're awesome. Over here on Instagram, we've got Kachina, System Mind Soul. Kachina, nice to see you. It's great to hear from you. Mornings with Michael, love it. That's Michael Drummond. And then Bellarmino, Faust Bellarmino, one of my good friends. Faust, I have so many Filipino stories and a bunch of them are with you. Isn't that funny? I have a book stacked this thick of the emails I used to send home every week when I lived in the Philippines with Faust. And I've collected, what is that, 52 times 2? Here's me doing math, you guys. 104 weeks. Oh my gosh, I'm getting scam calls left and right. So I have 104 plus weeks of emails and stories from my day to day when I was living in the Philippines. It's kind of like my journal, right? And I have so many stories, and a lot of them have to do with my time with Faust in the Philippines. So pretty cool stuff. Jason says, I love the Philippines. I love the Philippines too. I love Filipinos. They're so awesome. He says, I was there yesterday. It was awesome. Okay, I was like, Philippines? No, he was at the live stream. So that's awesome. Because Eric Swanson made some announcements on my show yesterday that I will be traveling internationally with the Habitude Warrior Conference and will be facilitating the Habitude Warrior Masterminds. So that's pretty exciting. Pretty cool gig, and I'm appreciative, and I'm just still blown away. So a famous story. When I was 8 years old, it was my time and my moment to put on a backpacker's backpack and go and travel to the Wind River Mountain Range in rural Wyoming. You see, my family has been backpacking in the rural mountain range of the Wind Rivers for over 80 years. And I was about to fulfill my legacy. All I looked forward to doing was getting up the mountain and going to this secret lake that we call Scab Lake. And not many people know how to get to Scab Lake. There are very, very few people who can actually get to Scab Lake. Even if you take the Scab Lake Creek Trail, you will miss it by a mile because you've got to know how to get there. And for the first time in my life, I was going to take my role as Kovach man and hike to Scab Lake and to fish on the secret rock, the special rock where my dad fished with my grandpa and my grandpa fished with my great grandpa. Okay. This was destiny in the making. And as an 8-year-old kid, I was so pumped and so excited and so unprepared for the journey ahead. As we pulled into the parking lot of the trailhead, we get out and I put on this backpack. And let me remind you what an 8-year-old packs to go into the woods for a week. Okay. An 8-year-old packs the 8-year-old, necessities. I got my Pringles, my Doritos, my chips that I didn't include, like Fritos, anything that ends in O's, my fruit roll-ups, my candy. Okay, I've got probably a Game Boy. I just had a bunch of 8-year-old kid things, plus my sleeping bag because I knew I was going to be sleeping. And I think I even brought like some s'mores kits and stuff. But anywho, I brought the essentials, the 8-year-old essentials. And I put that on my back, and I didn't realize how heavy I had, packed everything. But for an 8-year-old, you should probably only backpack, which is about a third of your weight maximum. And as an 8-year-old, what did I probably weigh? I probably weighed like 80 pounds. Well, this backpack weighed 70. Okay, nearly 90% of my body weight was on my back. I was piggybacking another 8-year-old up this mountain, right? I realized, I'm unprepared. Because as I sat there at the trailhead and looked up the mountain, all I could see was this grade, straight uphill for 2 miles, and they called them the switchbacks. And the switchbacks are the most grueling part of this hike. You survive the switchbacks, and you will make it to your destination safely. If you do not survive the switchbacks, most people will give up, quit, turn around, go back to the trailhead, and then they'll drive to lakes, the ones that are overpopulated. So there was absolutely no way I could quit. There was absolutely no way I could turn around. This was my destiny. It was time to take my place on that rock and fish with my grandpa and fish with my grandpas of old, and to delve into the Kovach legacy. So I put on this really extremely heavy backpack, and I started up the mountain. Pause for Instagram, pause for effect. Cool. And as I start up the mountain, every step gets harder and harder. And as I'm walking up the mountain, I am not nearly like 50 steps into the trail when I already begin to sweat. I already begin to feel that rising breakfast burrito up in my throat. I could feel my feet were unprepared for this. My feet and my shoes began to blister. I'm 50 steps into this thing, and I'm beginning to feel blisters already. Highly unprepared for all of this. Highly unprepared. And we're up the mountain. We're probably 100 steps in, and I start to whip out. I start to weep, I start to cry, and I start to whine. I was about to give up. And I didn't even make it to the first sign that says, you're almost there. I didn't even make it up to the first switchback. I just made it to the first turn. And that was tough on me. As an 8-year-old kid, I'm letting out 8-year-old swears like shoot, gosh, dang, and fart, like things that 8-year-olds say. And I just wished at that moment that this could all go away. But then I realized that everyone in my family had started when they were 8 years old. And if my grandpa could do it, if my great grandpa did it without equipment like I had, I was prepared. I had Pringles. And if my dad could do it, then sure as heck I could. And I was not about to let them down. So the only thing I could focus on was taking one step at a time. Okay. And every step I took, as searing, as painful, as blistering as it was, I found myself moving one more step. And if I could take one step, I could take another. And if I could take another, then I could take one more. And I just started counting steps. If I could make one more, then I could progress. And I make it up to the top of the first switchback. And I started realizing that time was passing a lot faster than I was moving. But 1 hour in, and I'm just barely a quarter mile up there, I realized that there was so much further to go. So again, hit by so much adversity. But yeah, I could not let that happen. I could not let myself quit. I needed to keep going. So as I keep going, I focused on it again. One step forward, another step forward. Blisters are getting bigger, okay? But I can move one step forward. And I just counted those forever and ever and ever. And before you guys know it, I'm at the next switchback. And then the next switchback. And it gets harder and harder with every step. But I begin to push pain away and forget it and focus on the trail ahead and the legacy that I'm most working towards. A couple hours into this, you guys, I've made it up 6 or 7 switchbacks. I'm about a mile in. It's going great. And then I run out of water. Okay. I've been sipping water every step of the way and I run out of it. I'm totally dry. And I'm like, I'm going to die. As an 8-year-old kid, I realized I will die. And I began to panic. But I've made it so far. I've made it almost 2 miles. And that's what I needed to do. I just needed to get past the 2 miles. Then I can make it to my destination safely. Jump on that rock and fish with my grandpas of old. Okay. Right? This was the journey. And I will tell you guys, the last stretch of switchbacks was the most grueling of them all. But I kept telling myself, one more step. And as I took one step every single time, I inched closer and closer and closer. I could almost see the opening up of the sky at the top of this mountain as I'm climbing. Okay, grabbing trees and branches and pulling myself up, doing whatever else I could to get it. And as I'm focusing on the pain in my arms and my chest and from my breathing and the dryness in my mouth, I forgot about the pain in my legs. And then all of a sudden I started to pick up speed because I could see sky. And as I started to pick up speed, I found myself trotting. And as I'm trotting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm running. And then I saw it. Open skies, beautiful mountains, vistas of old, and this beautiful downhill trail. I said, why did I go uphill to go downhill? I would have just gone around. But man, oh man, I did it. I had made it to the top of the switchbacks. And 6 miles later of just roaming hills and beautiful scenery, we made it. We made it to base camp. We made it to that rock. And I got to spend all the time I wanted out on that rock fishing. We caught big trout, rainbow trout, the best kind. And I just had the best time of my life. And I said to myself, this was the most difficult thing I have ever done. And would I ever do it again? Absolutely. Because once I know that I've done it, I know that I can repeat it. And once I know that I can push through pain, I know that I can repeat it. And I'll tell you guys, as I was walking up that trail, there were so many things I needed to change. I needed to change my attitude. I needed to change how far I was stepping. I realized that the first 50 steps, I wasn't making any distance because I was shuffling my feet and making little pedals, right? But as I walked bigger steps and put my power into it and used my arms and really huffed and puffed and worked it, I did it. And I know that that's simple. I know that it's easy. Change and winning and success is simple. It's not easy. And I love that. I love that quote. Success is simple, but it's not easy. So change is incredibly important. And that's the message I wanted to share with you today, this Friday, while we're hanging out, having some good times, learning how to change and learning how to deal with change. I want to open it up with the last 10 minutes with questions. What questions do you have for me? Because this isn't just me. This is about you. This is about the collaboration and the community that we can create together. So what questions do you have about change? And while you're typing your questions in the comments section, let me just reread to you what Napoleon Hill said. Success requires no apologies, failure permits, and no alibis. Every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that cool? Okay, what questions do you have? Send them in, type them in. If you don't have a question, give me a thumbs up emoji in the comments section. Do it now. Do it now. Looking forward to it. Shouting out to Jay Spitta, who's joining us on Instagram Live. Hey, Jay, what's up, man? And we got Jennifer and Taylor Douglas is in the house. I waved at her because I was in the story. But Taylor, it's good to see you. Let's check in today. Okay, cool. I'm excited. Good stuff is coming, you guys. Jennifer says, love it. Love it. Amen. Love it. Absolutely. Okay. So a couple changes I'm making to my live hour and my show while you're writing in your comments or giving me a thumbs up is I will be adding to, so I'm not a planner. I'm not really the best at planning, but I do create a plan like shortly in advance, but I'm going to be planning. And I've got a new structure for the live hour show. In fact, I've got a content calendar. There you go, a content calendar that I'll be working simultaneously with my virtual assistants. And we'll be creating segments that are more and more interesting, more and more beneficial to you. And we'll be giving away resources all the time. Okay, somebody again is calling me. How many times? Hey, welcome back, Instagram. We're almost done. Everyone, keep calling me. This is going great. So there you go. But I've got a content calendar that I've built, and it's going to be built around you. It's going to be built around what you've asked for, what you've talked about, what your questions have incurred. It's going to be about you. And so I'm super excited. Jennifer says, spontaneous planning. That's my style. Mine too, Jennifer. You and I are like, you said it in your text message the other day. You're like, must have been from a former life. And I love that we're so similar because of the just life is so fun, right? I don't want to spend my time planning. I want to spend my time taking action. So I'll take a quick plan as I'm actioning, right? That's kind of my story from an 8-year-old self. By the way, what was your favorite part about that story? I've asked that on stage before, and people said the 8-year-old swears, shoot, gosh darn, and dang it, and fart. But what was your favorite part about that story? Tell me what your favorite part was. We're improving our stories. I've got 10 really good stories that we tell from stage. They're different every time because I embellish a little bit. I work it, but since I have no audience, but a screen and a bunch of people commenting, then yeah, I just tell it the way I want it. But Jennifer gives me a thumbs up. Awesome, Jen. You're awesome. Spontaneous planning is good. What was your favorite part about that story? So anyways, we created a content calendar, and we're going to be creating more stuff for you and giving more content away. If you're up to it, I would really, really appreciate a subscribe on our YouTube channel. Another call. Instagram's back. What's up, Instagram? Quit calling me, people. Text me. Oh man, I sound so millennial when I say that, right? I sound like a millennial. Okay, here is, oh, you know what? I don't have to do that. I can just sign into Bitly. And I'm learning a lot of stuff as we go along. And got it. Thank you, Bitly. Log in, Bitly. And I'm learning a lot of things about technicalities and yada, yada, yada. Boom, 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 boom. And one of the things that I've learned is that make it easy for people. Make it super, super easy. So here I am in my Bitly, and I'm going to grab my YouTube channel. And I'm going to copy that. And if you wouldn't mind, I gave you some free content, a really great story today, and some good content. If you would please just go subscribe to my channel. That'd be awesome. I give away free content. I do tutorials. My wife and I are starting to cook in the kitchen together and film it because it's so funny and entertaining. We've got a variety of things. So whatever you want to know. And then my VAs are obviously working on some stuff too. So we're gonna have some really good content. Jennifer says that your parents let you choose how to pack your backpack and learn from your choices young. See, I didn't even talk. That's another principle, depending on the audience, Jen, that you can teach through that story. And I love that that was the one that you picked out. I love that you saw that because I didn't even say anything about my parents, right? But you said that your parents let you choose how to pack your backpack and learn from your choices. You know, my parents helped me with a lot of things. My parents were awesome. And I feel for you, for those of you who grew up in homes that didn't have that awesomeness. But, you know, my parents did the best that they could. And I always recognize that. At times we lived in poverty, and in times we lived in prosperity. But in the times of poverty and prosperity, my parents did a really good job of helping us not seeing the difference. We worked for everything. I was an entrepreneur since I was 12 years old because of my mom. And my dad taught me principles along the way. They've inspired me. They've created opportunity for me. They've supported me. They've given me jobs. They've given me things to do. I feel sorry for them that they birthed a kid with so much ADHD energy that they were able to survive with a few gray hairs, you know? So I'm just grateful for them. But I love that that's what you learned from the story. And Jason says, my favorite part of your story was how much I related to overpacking. Wow, you guys, that's two people who said the same. Wow, overpacking for scout camp. Very, very interesting. I always overpacked. Even when I travel, I always overpack. I'm figuring out how I can fit things in every little corner. And then I'm screwed because I have to bring stuff home. I've gotten gifts or I've gotten souvenirs or whatever. And I'm like, dang, I don't have room. So I have the biggest problem with that too, Jason. And I don't know, it's FOMO, right? I just don't want to miss out on the opportunity of having exactly what I need. So again, here is my YouTube channel. I'm just going to bring it up here. It's just John Kowach Jr. YouTube bit.ly, right? Jennifer says that okay, so she said, I feel that if we let our children choose, struggle, and grow, they will be better for it. You know, I'll add to that. I think, and I don't have children, so I don't know, but I have dogs. And I got to learn a little bit about how I raise dogs, right? But I feel like if you let children choose, you let them struggle and grow, but then you facilitate that learning, okay? Help them recognize what they're learning. Help them talk about it. We've lost the ancient art of, ready for this? The ancient art of communication. We've lost the ancient art of communication. And it's because we rely so much on technology. We rely on so much on expectation. And we don't rely on our ability to communicate. So remember that piece. But I love that. I love that a lot. And so make sure that you're facilitating that growth, that you're conversing with them, and that you're creating that experience. I mentioned that I don't have kids. Being a father is my greatest fear and my greatest aspiration. Fear is in like, I hope I don't ruin a kid. And people are nice. They're always like, you'll be the greatest dad. I'm like, thanks. I'm just like a kid too. So if you want a kid raising a kid, then yeah, you're right. So there you go. But I love that. Jennifer says, don't carry their backpack when they can grow stronger by carrying it for themselves. Wow, I didn't know there were so many lessons that you got from that story, but I love it. Another variation of the story and the things that I didn't tell about, it's when I got my first 100 steps up the mountain and I was crying, right? And I stopped there. And sometimes I'll tell the version where I say what happened. My dad actually picked me up, backpack and all, put me up against a tree, and in stern, sharp, but simple words reminded me that I was a Kowach man and that Kovaches don't complain. We do our best and we give our all and we're honest in everything we do. He reminded me of the 4 principles of the Kowach name. And then he dropped me and he says, I'll see you at the top. And then I had to go with the rest of my story. So there's so many cool variations from this story. But I wanted to share that because you reminded me of that as I chose one version of the story over the other today. And Jennifer, you just nailed it. Don't carry their backpack when they can grow stronger by carrying it for themselves. I love that. You guys are teaching me. That's honestly why I do this. I want to learn from you. I just have a bunch of ADHD moments and stories, and I'm super excited to share them. But man, oh man, oh man. Jason says, funny thing now is that I underpack, or I just barely enough. And Jason, I still have that problem, man. I bought a bigger suitcase. And then I tell myself I've got a little section in the corner for souvenirs or for take homes. By the way, you guys, just general ADHD traveling tip. When you wear clothes, they don't go in the same way that they came out, right? They are expanded. They have grown. And so just know that if you pack your bags to the max, your bag is going to be exploding when you try to repack it to go home. Your clothes don't shrink. They expand when you use them and when you travel. It's just moisture, air, all of the things combined. So just know that. So I'm glad that you now underpack. That's great. Eric, hey Eric, good to hear you. Good to hear you. Good to see you. We rely on you, brother. Appreciate it. Love the emojis. Thank you. As a new dad for a 1-year-old, and his daughter's so adorable. It's hard not to be a helicopter parent. Okay, but let's talk about that. There's a difference, right? There's a difference. Toddlers versus the comprehensible, right? The ones who can learn. We can still facilitate, okay? And I think that helicopter parent is such an interesting term. And I'm no parent, right? I'm not even supposed to give advice on this because I have no experience. But I have 2 dogs. And sometimes when they fall and they start to cry because they're hurt, if you can feel of their pain and you get down at their level and you cry and you say, I know it hurts, but it will pass. And you can help them see that at an early stage. I don't know. I'm just saying. Helicoptering is great. It's awesome. As long as you do it right. So don't worry about it, Jason. You're an awesome dad. I've seen you with your kid. He's amazing. Eric reminds me, I shared this story on stage in front of Eric Swanson, and I gave him a very, very simplified 3-minute version of the story. And he says, love this story. He says Cheetos and all. Yeah, man, all the things that end in O's. Doritos, Cheetos, Fritos, what were the Pringles with the O's. She said chills. Thank you. Eric says you should have an acronym for Kovach. That's a great point. The ancestors of old do have an acronym, and I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'm going to create one today. There's my homework for the day. I'm going to create an acronym. Your homework is to go home, create an acronym for your names too, your surnames. But the actual spelling of my name, history and all, is Kovach. The Kovachs. And Kovach means blacksmith or smith, good with your hands. A dedicated worker in the trade, because back in the day, they used to give surnames based on your trade. And the Kovachs were tradesmen. They were smiths. And we were very, very good with our hands, very, very strong people. And we used to have an acronym when my ancestors came over from Slovenia, which used to be Yugoslavia, but Yugoslavia was dissolved in the World War. And so it became Slovenia. And because of that World War, my family and my ancestors said, no way, Jose, let's go to America. They traveled to America, and all of a sudden they stood out like a sore thumb because there was still racism. People were still judging you if you were Jewish or if you were Christian or if you were Catholic. And because of that, and they knew that you were an immigrant, my family changed their name. They Americanized it. So they added the H and they took away the asterisk above the C. So it's no longer Kovach, it's Kovach. It's Kovach. And we created an acronym for that. And I don't know what that is off the top of my head, so I'll figure it out. But it should just be like, I don't know, kick-ass observation. I don't know. I'm going to embarrass myself, so let's do that. We'll do that another day. And I'm not your dad yet. I just laughed. And I'm not your dad yet. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. Okay, I got ADHD. Eric, I thought it said I'm not. Oh, Eric says, I'm not a dad yet, but I do get about 30 Father's Day cards every year. Strange, right? That is But that's so cool because people see you as a mentor, as a fatherly figure. And it's not that like weird, like daddy thing. It's like that father thought, right? And you embrace that family position, the familial patriarchal position of your community and your friends. And you're just, it's strange, but I'm not surprised. I love that, man. Instagram, apparently you only go live for an hour, so it just cut off. It just ended. So that's exciting. I'm going to finish out these comments here, and we're going to wrap up today, you guys. But Jason says, what a great idea to make an acronym for your last name. I agree. Stop saying your true pronunciation of your name, of your last name. You need to clean the screen and mic and camera now, please. Oh, man. One of my first speeches I ever gave, Eric, I was on stage, and the announcer, the person introducing me, obliterated my name. They called me Mr. Kovic, or Kovic. They called me Mr. Kovic. And I was like, where'd they even get the I? Okay, they said, bringing on the stage, Mr. John Kovic. Applause. I walk out and I say, now let's just set the record. I appreciate being on the stage, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you being here. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to train you on what we're going to be talking about today. But let's set the record straight. My name's Kovac. It's John Kovac, like Bond, James Bond, right? Kovac, John Kovac. And the real way you say my name, and the only way you're going to remember my name, because it was totally obliterated, is Kovac with an accent. Repeat after me. My name is John Kovac. And they all said, John Kovac. And I was like, good. Now you can just call me John, or John Kovac is fine. And people remembered that. And I was like, And I apologized to the front row. That was a splattering. So I love it. Yes, I will need to clean off my screen. I'm actually seeing some droplets there. Jen says, you must be considered the father of creative thought and the possibility of change. That deserves a card. Oh my gosh. Isn't Mother's Day just like in 2 days, you guys? Oh man. So send a random card to a mom, or a to-be mom, or a mother of essence, right? But I love what you said, Jen. You deserve a mom card, right? You get a mom card for the day. Be the mother of creative thought and the possibility of change. I love that. Kovac, kindness, opportunities, victory, achievements, courage, humility. You're so good at this, Eric. You're so good at this. Last comment for the day. People always used to introduce me as Brian Tracy since I worked with him for years. That's awesome. I wish somehow, some way, somebody would get mixed up with me and my stories, and they'd be like, now introducing Mr. Les Brown, everybody. And he walks out, and it's John Kovac, and he's white. And then they're like, oh my gosh, Les is so much better. And then they're like, okay, this guy's not bad. And then they're like, but where's Les? How'd they mess that up? Anywho, hey guys, happy Friday. I love you. Go change the world. Start by looking in the mirror, changing yourself. And remember what Napoleon Hill said. He said, every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Boom, Power Clap Nation. Power clap with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We are united worldwide. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Happy Friday. Get to work, you filthy animals. Let's have a great, great day, a great weekend. And of course, remember your core principles. Love you all. Appreciate you all. And one last comment. They always call my Brian on my voicemails. It's funny. Eric Swanson with Brian Tracy Programs. I love that. You guys all need to meet Eric. Send him a message right now. Say, hi, my name is, fill in the blank, and then tell him why he's awesome, because he is awesome, and why you're awesome. And they have an awesome conversation and build an awesome relationship. Okay. Amazing.